Welcome back to Good Morning Quad Cities at 11, and it's time to introduce you to our pet of the week. And today we have Stephanie with us, and Patti McRae from the Animal Welfare Center is here as well to tell us a little bit about Stephanie, who is up for adoption, and also to tell us a little bit about having a pet bunny, what goes into that, and some of the helpful tips and tricks that people who may have just gotten a bunny for Easter might be able to use. So tell us a little bit about Miss Stephanie.
So she is 5 months old. She got spayed about a week ago. She's also microchipped, and she's very nice. We've handled her quite a bit. She likes to be pet. We also have her sister too, who is also a spayed female, and I'm fostering her brother, who's a little bit smaller, and he's not been neutered yet, but he will be, and then he'll be available for adoption. And so these are Dutch rabbits. The little ears, their short coat makes them Dutch rabbits.
Okay.
And that's just the breed they are, like cats and dogs have different breeds. So rabbits can be very social. They can be kept as indoor pets. And we want them to be part of your family and be with your family. They can be very social. They like to be with other animals. You can have rabbits with cats. You can have them, of course, with dogs with the low prey drive that they would be slowly introduced to. They'd be fine with dogs as well. I know people that have guinea pigs with rabbits, so they do get along fairly well with other animals. They do need to be spayed and neutered. It does help with their behavior. It makes them calmer. So she has been spayed. They also need to have an enclosed area in your home. So when you're not home, put them in that enclosed area. We use playpens at the shelter.
Oh, okay.
And so they're just like the big puppy playpens.
Right.
And you can put a rug on the floor, and they can have that to kind of hop around. They will use a litter box. You can definitely litter box train them. They're very social, and so you could also have another rabbit with them if you wanted. Two of them would get along great. But when you're not home, you definitely want to put them probably in that enclosed area, because they do like to chew, and I mean they chew on everything. So you want to have a lot of appropriate things for them to chew on. And then they like to hide. So you want to, give them like a box, or give them some type of enclosure smaller enclosure that they can hide in, they can sleep in, just so they can have a little bit of private time.
And how are they with, like, I'm thinking of my daughter, who's a 2.5-year-old. So obviously we've been working with her with our dog at home of gentle touches and things like that. So how are bunnies with kids?
Bunnies would be fine with children, of course, slowly introduced.
Okay, yeah.
Now, the one thing about bunnies, they do not like to be picked up.
Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to sit on the floor, and they'll hop over to you. They'll come over, they'll want to play. You can throw a ball for them. They're very curious. Just being very gentle with them, letting them get to know you, and just, taking your time with them. But I do think they could be very good around children.
Okay, great. And you said slow introduction to dogs and some other pets.
Yeah.
All right.
They also need to have a variety of food. So we recommend that they get a salad, like greens or some type of broccoli, vegetables. And then they do like fruit, but fruit is very high in sugar, so you want to kind of limit that. They like apples, bananas. Limit that. They like berries.
Okay.
But the veggies and the vegetables to keep their diet well-rounded. And then the pellets of too, they like to eat those as well.
And I know Timothy hay is a huge thing for bunnies as well. I can remember having it everywhere when I'd go to my friends' houses who had pet bunnies. So why do they need the Timothy hay, and how much do they need?
Yeah, they definitely need that. So what I do is I put Timothy hay in their litter box. So they have a lot of Timothy hay. This smaller rabbit, of course, wouldn't need as much, but it needs to be accessible to them all the time. They need to have that Timothy hay all the time. And it's just important for their digestion. It's something that they really enjoy. So you want to make sure your bunny's happy, and giving them that Timothy hay is super important.
And is it better to have like a water dish or one of those water bottles, or what should you use for water?
Right. We recommend like the heavy Crocs bowls for their water, something that they can't knock over, because if you get a smaller bowl that's easy for them to tip, then obviously their water is going to be spilled. But a heavy Croc bowl with the water is what we recommend.
Okay. Hear that, Miss Stephanie? Well, Miss Stephanie, you can find out more information about Stephanie as well as her siblings by visiting the Quad City Animal Welfare Center's website. You can also visit WQAD.com. We'll have this posted up there as well. Now, don't forget that the Animal Welfare Center is closed on Tuesdays and Sundays. They're open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, noon to 4.